Welcome back to Grappling in Thought. And today I want to talk about something that I think we do way too often. Do you ever walk down the street or through school or wherever and somebody gives you a look or somebody bumps into you and you puff up and get mad, or you shrink up and kind of get sad or down because you thought it was intentional? So often we think if somebody cuts us off when we're driving, or someone snaps at us, or we get a short text response, we think it's intentional and we take it personal. But yeah, people do it, but really it's more siblings. But our friends and our people and just normal people that we walk by, strangers even, they're not intentionally doing it. But for whatever reason, we always think it's about ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it's just the next part of not taking things personal. And it's a piece that we need to understand what's ours to take on versus what's theirs, because not everything somebody does is intentional and is about us. And so often we take everything if that we don't like or we don't agree with or we wouldn't do. And if somebody else does that, we think they're intentionally doing it to hurt us, to make us mad, to annoy us, to whatever. We think it's about us. And it's not. So often, I mean, we're all just living our life, and I'll keep saying this, but we're all just doing us, getting our way through the day and doing what we can. And so it's not always about us. If somebody bumps you, you've bumped somebody on accident. You've probably been in your head and accidentally given a look that somebody took personal, and it wasn't your intention. Or you're in your head and thinking of something, you got something on your mind, and you walk by somebody in school and you don't even see them, and they might think, what the hell did I do? But that's where we got to think, did I do something? Did I do something to that person that would make them intentionally bump into me, intentionally cut me off, intentionally give me that look, intentionally snap at me? Did we do something? And if we can ask that question and be like, no, I don't, I don't know what I did wrong. Why are they mad at me? I don't know. They must not like me. But if we don't know why, if we didn't do anything, because if we did something, we can be like, oh yeah, they're mad at me because of that. And we get it. And so we're not really as bothered. We understand it. But it's when we don't understand it, right? And that's where, if we didn't do anything wrong, meaning our intentions were pure, then it really isn't ours to carry. It's theirs. It's their life that they're going through, that we just happen to cross paths with wherever they are in their world at that moment. We have no idea what anybody's truly going through on the inside. You can think of yourself. Does everybody know what you're going through on the inside, or what your day-to-day life is like? Not completely. They don't know what stories you got going on in your head, or um, just what you're thinking about. And so when you think of it that way and have that perspective of, okay, nobody knows what I'm always going through or what I'm thinking about, so we don't know what they're going through or what they're thinking about. And so if somebody's just in their head and they walk by us and give a look, it has nothing to do with us, especially a complete stranger. I know people that will puff up and get mad if somebody bumps into them because they think that they intentionally did it. And they'll come up with something, some reason why, but it's like, do you even know that person? No. Well, then why would they have anything against you? Why would they do that? It's just them. It has nothing to do with you. It could have been anybody, right? And that's what we have to remember, is that it's not always about us. That's what I try to do when someone does something and I get that immediate instinct that, oh, I did something wrong. I ask myself, did I do something wrong? In my eyes, were my intentions pure? And if they were, then hey, that's on you. That's your stuff. I'm not taking that on. I didn't do anything wrong. My intentions were good. And that helps. That helps differentiate between that's yours versus what I'm going to carry, because we'll absorb everything. We will take on somebody's in a bad mood and they're quiet. Oh, it must be me. Somebody snapped at us. Oh, I must have did something wrong. Or I didn't get a text back. They must not like me. And we just take it all. It must be me. It's my fault. I did wrong. But do we ever ask ourselves, or do you ever ask yourself, did I do anything wrong? Like, in my eyes, did I do something? And if, sometimes there's something like, oh, maybe they took that wrong, that thing that I said, or that text I wrote, or whatever. Maybe they did. But then we have to ask. We have to ask, because otherwise we drive ourselves crazy. Talked about this in the last episode. We'll drive ourselves crazy without asking, because we make up all these stories and we tell ourselves, oh, that's why they're mad. I didn't mean it. And you're just saying it in your head instead of asking them, hey, I know I said this and I have a feeling like I'm getting a weird vibe. Did you take this, or how did you interpret this? And if they say no, trust it. We have to go with it, and we can say, okay, I hope not, because that wasn't my intention at all. And then let it go and move on, because we carry so much otherwise. And we take it all on. Like, even road rage, when somebody cuts us off. I've done it before, and I'll tell a real quick story. I was going into a parking lot, like a strip mall, and I just didn't see the guy. And he was coming out of a parking row, and I was coming into the whole parking lot. And I didn't see him, and so I went, and he just flipped out. And I laughed, actually, because I waved. I was like, sorry. I did the move. And he was pissed. He flipped me off and he was yelling. And all I could do was laugh, because I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, nothing happened. We weren't even close to hitting. It just happens. We're not perfect, and it happens, and we forget that. We lose perspective that if somebody else does it, oh my God, it's the end of the world, and that dumb, and whatever. But yet when we do it, we're like, oh shoot, sorry, didn't mean to. And that happens so often. I wish we could really grasp that and understand that we do it too. And so when other people do it, we gotta let it go. We gotta stop and catch ourselves. They're in their life, they're in their world. It's whatever they're dealing with. It doesn't have anything to do with us. And we have to remember that and grab that and go, because otherwise we lose our own peace. And it's so much energy and peace to get all pissed off, and then we're mad, and then we have this whole story, and then we can get mad and stress out and snap at the next person, and that just goes. It's a domino effect. If your intentions are pure and something you say or do is taken by somebody as an attack, it's not yours to carry. If they may say, you made me feel XYZ, or you made me angry, you made me mad, you made me do this. We can't make anybody do or feel anything. Nobody can make us do or feel anything. We can say something. What happens is we say something or do something that triggers something inside them, an insecurity, a fear, a wound inside them, that then they feel sad, angry, mad, whatever the case is, a feeling. We don't make anybody feel or feel anything, and nobody makes us feel anything. We have that control, and that's what's cool. But we have to understand that it's within us. Something within us is getting triggered by what they're saying or doing. And even if they get really upset and they blow up and they call you names and they blame you and they say it's your fault, it's still not, if your intentions were pure, and that's the key too. If your intentions were pure, it's not ours to carry. It's theirs. It's where they are. It's their own insecurities. It's their pain within them that we triggered. And so we have to understand that, because that's where it can get really hard, feeling like it's our fault. That's where I struggle when someone says, puts the blame on me or says, you made me feel this way. And I'll say, I didn't make you feel it. Yes, I understand that. I said that and that triggered something inside of you. What happens though after that, there's this energy in the room, this negative vibe, this tension, this weirdness in the room that just sits there. And I know it's not mine. I know it's theirs. But, you get those feelings of, okay, well, why does it feel so weird? Why does it feel cold? Why is there tension? Why do I feel like I'm tiptoeing around or walking on eggshells? And that's what we're going to talk about in the next episode, is just how to handle that tension. And because that's real and that's hard. That's where I struggle the most. I'm to the point where I can understand this isn't mine, that's yours. But then I'm really struggling with this next part now of how do I let go of this tension? How do I not tiptoe and walk on eggshells and shrink in fear of any more blame or that I do something that triggers them? So in a sense, I'm still taking it on, and that's what I'm working through now of, okay, this isn't mine. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give some space. But we're going to talk about that more in the next episode. So keep looking forward. Leave some comments. Tell me how you guys deal with taking things personal and what you think of this and what you're going to try. And what I would suggest this week is when something happens and you get that feeling, to just pause and ask yourself, were my intentions pure first? If they weren't pure, you need to have a conversation. If they were pure and you didn't do anything or say anything in your mind, like your intentions were pure, then recognizing that, okay, this is theirs to carry. This isn't mine. I'm not going to take this on. And then follow me on Instagram, Grappling In Thought. Check it out. I put up a lot of the same stuff. And then anybody in Fresno, I'm wanting to start, I want to get anybody's thoughts, but I want to start a little Slackline group where we just meet up at parks and have some fun with the Slackline. I've been trying it. You'll see, if you check me out on Instagram, you'll see my videos. It's hard. The Slackline's hard, and I have a regular Slackline that goes between trees, but I also got a Slack board. So it's a little board and it has a Slackline on it that I can take anywhere, and I just practice every day, but it's hard. And so I want to get some, I think it'd be fun to get together at a park and just do it, chat, and get outside of the home and get off our phones. So until next week, keep looking forward, keep grappling.